Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys my everyday carry here. This, of course, my firearm is the Springfield XDM 3.8-inch barrel, 13 round magazine, so 13 plus 1 with one in the chamber. My ammo I use is the Critical Defense here, 115 grain FTX bullet, 9mm of course, this 9mm. I do carry that in the waistband holster from Crossbreed. I really like this holster. I've worn it almost every day for a year and rolled around wrestling with the kids, do everything in this holster, and really retains well. It's not super tight in there. Okay, it will fall out if you hold it upside down and shake it a little bit, but I mean you really have to do that, and especially when it's on a belt, it doesn't come out, but it comes out well when you want it to. So I really like that. Another thing is my knife here. I have the Kershaw Cryo 2. It's a cheap knife, $30. Not bad at all. Spring assisted opening, has the little belt clip of course, and I had the Cryo 1, lost it. That's a whole long story. Ended up giving it to someone at the airport. Forgot I had it on me. This always goes in my front right pocket, clipped inside, goes down inside my pocket and clips on the outside of it. So I really like that. Always have to use it all the time. It's great. It's amazing when you start carrying a knife how often you realize you use it. Not for personal defense. Talk about for cutting things open, for a tool, screwdriver, this, that, whatever. Another thing I carry is this little flashlight. This was very cheap, $4 I think, including shipping. Takes a normal AA battery, but it is extremely bright. And not only that, it has a zoom function. It can beam. You can actually go out and I mean it will go 50 yards easy and really illuminate things out to that distance. But I just always keep a fresh AA battery in it, and it's good to go. One other thing is I do have, this is a Crossbreed double magazine holster. One of the reasons I carry extra magazines, and normally I don't know that I'd carry two, but I'd carry at least one extra magazine. Actually, I always carry at least one extra magazine. One of the reasons for that is not just to have ammo, but in the case you have a malfunction with your firearm. And there's scenarios, I'll show you. One of the main reasons, certain scenarios you get in where you may have to drop your magazine to be able to keep firing your gun. Reproduce a double feed here. Show you, I'm going to take an empty brass case and insert that in there. Then this is a snap cap, whatever, dummy round. Just I'm going to introduce like a double feed, or the scenario where this brass did not eject, and as the slide came forward, it started to load another round. Now you can do all the tapping and racking you want, but you're not going to clear that jam. You're going to have to drop the magazine. Now it may be that as soon as you hit the magazine release, it flies out, okay, and your magazine may end up on the ground somewhere, and you're looking for it. That's why I always like to have a fresh mag and just throw another magazine in there, rack it, and now I'm good to go. So it's not only having extra magazines gives you more ammunition, but there's certain situations you get into where you're going to have to take the magazine out. Now you can decide for yourself, if you only have one magazine, I mean you may be able to pull that magazine out, hold on to it, tuck it somewhere in your third hand while you're trying to clear the jam. For me, I like to be ready to let that magazine fall, clear the jam if I need to, insert a fresh mag, and keep going. Anyways, it's just something I like. Now I want to show you one important thing here too. It is winter time, and obviously I started wearing a coat, and actually a pretty thick coat. And one day I came home and I was carrying my normal everyday carry, and I tried to said, well, you know what, how hard would it be to draw with this coat? And I had my big winter coat on, zipped up, and I reached back and tried to draw my gun out, and my coat was too tight. It was zipped up on me and it wouldn't release, and I had a hard time getting my gun out. I'm like, man, that's not going to work. So what I found is that with my current winter coat that I have, I cannot zip it up, or else it makes it difficult to draw my gun. So what I did is I took a zip tie, and I zip tied my zipper down. The whole point of that was to remind myself not to zip my coat. So when I'm carrying, my coat has buttons and, Velcro. So I just Velcro it up and button it. And with that, then it's easy. I can shove my coat out of the way and it'll unsnap real easy, unvelcro real easy, and I can get to my firearm. I've trained myself not to zip my coats. Not that you can't zip your coats. My point is just know the clothing you're wearing and be sure that you can access your firearm if you're carrying in whatever you're wearing. And that's another point is I always wear same kind of cargo pants and have all of these in the same position. This is my front right pocket, lights in my front left pocket, holster's always in between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. This is on the opposite side, about the 4 o'clock position, so I know where everything's at. So just keep that in mind, and the biggest thing I can always say is just practice with your clothing. I mean, sometimes I'll come home if I'm wearing a different kind of shirt or something like that, come home and practice drawing from what you're actually wearing. The last thing I want to show you is occasionally I do carry the XDS. If I want to be more concealed, I'll carry the XDS. That's the single stack. Obviously it's a little thinner than the XDM. And I also I will carry an extra magazine with that. Now this I'll put in the same place I normally carry my XDM magazines. I'll put this is an extended XDS magazine I got for free when I sent my gun back in for the recall. They sent it back with this magazine. So I put this on my left side, so I always have an extra magazine to get to. One thing different also is that I do carry, in this firearm, I carry gold dots. I do not carry the critical defense. I've had issues actually with the critical duty, critical defense cartridges in this gun. They sometimes won't feed properly. When they're nose down, they'll actually get jammed up going into the firearm. So what I found is these gold dots load more reliably. And so actually these are reloads. And I'll do a whole nother video on should you or should you not reload your defensive rounds. But the reason I did, real briefly, is I was able to buy a bunch of these gold dot bullets, reload a bunch of them, and find a load that not only feeds reliably through my gun, but works effectively. So I do have a video review on these bullets. You can check those out as well. But anyways, that is my everyday carry. Hope you find this beneficial. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks.